So a lot of people have been hype about this one little game that lets you walk around outside and play things and visit places of interest and get items from it and meet with other people and vie for territory over certain points and all. And it's made by Niantic and it's extremely popular. I'm talking about Ingress, of course. Yeah, but all joking aside, at this time of recording, the game still hasn't come to my local friendly shores of Singapore, so I'm still stuck here with a lot of anticipation and waiting and all that stuff that's making you, well, salty, I guess. Niantic, please, hurry up, release it, I can't wait. But in any case, in the meantime, I decided to go ahead and take a look at Ingress, just to see how it plays out, all that stuff. And, since a lot of the portals in Ingress will carry over to Pokemon Go as Pokestops, and some of them were gyms. At least, that's what I heard. The map data is apparently culled from Ingress and brought over to Pokemon Go, and that forms the basis of the game. But in any case, I downloaded the app and I decided to try it out. So I jumped in and I didn't know anything about the game, but after a while, I'm decently leveled enough, I guess. I'm not quite at endgame, but pretty decent. So I'll explain how the game works. It's quite simple. Story aside, you can read up the story if you want to. There are portals all over the world, and there are two factions, the green faction, which is the Enlightened, and the blue faction, which is the Resistance. And these two factions are vying for territory and control over these portals. Now these portals generate exotic matter, or XM for short, and they power your energy bar. This bar at the top is how you do actions, you perform actions, and you can easily recharge them because you have abundance of items which you can convert to extra exotic matter if you so need. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So these portals, they generate exotic matter, and if you walk near them, you see these little light particles. You will automatically pick them up within your radius, and you can use that to recharge your bar. So what can you spend your exotic matter on? Well, in these portals, what you want to do is, firstly, there's a couple options. You can hack a portal, which is basically the fancy term of tagging it, which gives you a couple items. If you hold down the hack button, you get a glyph hacking minigame, which will potentially give you even more items, but of course that requires you to play a little minigame and you have to stand still for a bit, and it's not feasible if you're tagging portals from a moving vehicle. And other than that, if the portal is unclaimed, which means it's grey, like so, you can claim portals by placing resonators on them. And resonators are basically what you use to capture the portals, or the points as I will refer to them from now on. And you can place up to 8 of them, but the number of resonators you can place are dependent on how many it's dependent on the level of the resonators, my bad. Okay, so for instance, you can place 8 level 1 resonators, but you can only place 4 level 4 resonators at any one go. If you want to fill up all the slots with more high level resonators, you're going to have to cooperate with a couple of other people, and that's how you get your portals, which are heavily defended by level 7s and level 8s. You need to do cooperation, just like Pokemon Go. Anyways, the placement of the portals is dependent on how far away you're standing from it, and basically it will place the portals in a circle around it. You can choose your cardinal direction as you can see here, and basically you want to spread out your resonators as far away as possible for reasons I'll explain later. Alright, and then other than that, you can also recharge the resonators because they'll decay automatically over a couple of days, and if they are attacked, you also have to recharge them. And you can place mods, which are stuff like portal shields or link amps, stuff like that will provide a extra bonus modifier, like extra defenses or increasing the capable link length and so on and so forth. We'll get to that later. Navigation, that's pretty simple. It's just a GPS navigation log. And missions, this one will tell you if this particular portal is involved in any missions, which we'll get to later. Alright, so that's what you can do with portals. You see a grey one, you can claim it for your side. You see a blue one or a green one, depending on what your faction is. You can help to recharge or place resonators or place mods on friendly ones, and enemy ones you can attack. Now, if you're walking by an enemy portal, there's a chance that it might like zap you or something, and that will take away some of your exotic matter. Although in practice, unless you're actively playing in an area where you're trying to capture a lot of stuff, this probably won't matter too much. And which brings me over to attacking portals. Yep. So you've got a bunch of fancy firing weapons, and these things are like pulse emitters depending on your position, and they'll deal damage to all resonators within that little circle of yours. And this is why you don't want your portal resonators too close together, because that means one person can just stand nearby and destroy all of them. If you spread them out maximum, that means the person will have to stand pretty close to the point in order to destroy all of them. And yeah, that's about it. That's how attacking works. If you destroy all resonators on a portal, you can claim it for your own. It will revert back to neutral, and you can start claiming from there. Of course, areas are heavily contested at times, so you probably see portals in heavily guarded areas flip alliances pretty often. And beyond that, if you hack a portal, you might get a portal key. Now, these things are pretty important. If you have a portal key, you can recharge it remotely. That means you can access the portal and heal it back from anywhere in the world, more or less. I believe the max limit is 2,000 kilometers, but in a small country like Singapore, that basically means you can recharge like anywhere across in the entire island, which is lucky for me, I guess. Yay! And other than that, portal keys are used to establish links. Now, links can be placed between two portals, and I believe I think the origin portal needs to have 8 resonators on it for you to initiate a link. Why do you want to initiate links? Well, if you link 3 portals and they form a triangle, then the territory within those 3 portals will become under your control. And these things grant mine units, and mine units is the primary scoring mechanic of this game. So what they do is they calculate it based on the population of people living in the area, something of the sort. The formula isn't known publicly, but that's how you score points for your faction, and how your faction is scored against the other faction overall. And so this constant back and forth vying for territory by placing links, capturing portals, and so on and so forth is how the overall game is scored. And that's about all the portal mechanics I can think of at the moment. I believe that is all. Other than that, you have an experience bar, which is measured by your AP, and progression is rather slow. If you want to compare it to, let's say, an MMO's progression, just add 1 and 0 to the end of your visible level. It's about as difficult to get to, say, level 40 in an MMO, like, say, Blade and Soul or something, as it is to get to level 4 in Ingress. And the max level used to be 8, but now it's 16, but basically once you get to 8, you're at endgame. And why is it important to level up? Well, it's quite simple. You can only use items that match your level or below. So if you're at level 1, you can only place your dinky little level 1 resonators, and they'll be easily wiped and stuff. And you can only use level 1 weapons, and you can only do scratch damage to everybody, which is terrible. Oh dear. But other than that, once you get to a higher level, you can use stronger stuff, and to constantly boost your AP and level up quickly, you want to place resonators, form links, and capture areas. So yeah, go out there, be proactive, place resonators wherever you can, place mods wherever you can. You won't be using those level 1 resonators once you level up anyway, so you might as well make the most of it. You want to form links as far as possible, even when you don't really have much confidence that you can hold a point for long, because links and capturing territories, if you can manage it, will give a huge amount of AP, and it's the primary way you can level up really quickly. And your faction would want you to get to max level as soon as possible, because then you can truly start contributing by placing the higher level stuff. But in the meantime, just go ahead and place as much as you can. Tag as many points as you can as well. Hacking various points also gives you a tiny bit of AP. Recharging resonators also gives you some AP. A lot of stuff gives you AP in general. Now, yep, that's about it about how the game goes. And last of all, there is missions. Missions are kind of like station games. They're pretty fun. They are player made, but I believe you need to be pretty high level in order to use the mission generation tool. And they're basically like a series of waypoints which you need to tag in order. Sometimes you'll just have to hack all the portals on the range, sometimes you have to capture or upgrade them, and sometimes you have points where you have to answer questions. Like usually they're relevant about the area, like what historical fact here and there, you have to answer the question. Like I said, station games. And once you complete them, you earn a nifty little badge for your profile, like so. And well, they look pretty, and you can show off that you've visited this place, you know? It's kind of fun that way. It's kind of like stamp collecting. And that's about it, about how Ingress works, I guess. I'll leave it at that for today. In the next part, I'll start detailing about how my Ingress journey has gone so far, and what I'm looking forward to in Pokemon Go once it comes out. But even if Pokemon Go doesn't come out for a pretty long while, you know what? Ingress is pretty interesting. I might keep at it for a little while more. So yeah, this has been Ingress. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part whenever I make it, probably soon. So thank you for watching, and Coro out.